Hey you guys, it's Gemstone from www.thebeautyinspirit.com. I hope you guys are having a really great week. I want you to tell me if you can hear me better. I am using a headset now, and to me, I'm sounding louder than I was in the last video, but I want you guys to tell me if you're hearing me better. I was supposed to make this video like earlier in the day, but my son is off school, and it was just so hard for me to make the video because he wanted to help me. And you know the way kids are, like, they want to help, but it's like, okay, it doesn't turn out the way you expect it to. So I was like, by the end of it I couldn't upload it because I was like, you guys, it wasn't much of a reading kind of video. um Even though he's so lovely, my son. But I yes, I had to remake this video this time around. And so yeah, just let me know if the volume is better, only because I want to make the monthly videos tomorrow. And obviously there's no point me making the videos and then you can't hear me. So okay. So yeah, this reading is for the 28th of July through to the 3rd of August. Can you believe we're already soon moving into August? Like, that's amazing. How time is going by. But yeah. So I've shuffled up the cards already. I'm going to be using the Tarot Illuminati today, and this is the first card for the beginning of the week, which is the High Priestess. Now, the really interesting thing about the High Priestess energy is I honestly feel like a lot of people are experiencing this card, like they're experiencing the energy of the High Priestess, no matter like what astrological sign you are and stuff. I think people for a while now, I think from the time we had that grand water trine, that was like, what was it, a few months ago. I think people generally have just been really more emotional, really in, and I think it's almost so that we can get more in tune with our emotional self. Like, I think people are more introspective, and because of it, there's a lot of things coming to the surface for a lot of people. And I think this is also a time where people can take offense quite easily to things that you say and stuff, because people now, I think they're just really feeling things just in a way that they never have before. And so this is quite interesting energy, because I feel like it's a healing energy. It's an energy where you dig in deep to be able to almost bring all that stuff out of you, things that just crappy stuff, maybe things you've held on to from the past, because all of us have baggage, all of us have stuff from the past that we've just held on to that just are no good for us. And it's almost like that High Priestess energy is all about ridding ourselves of all that stuff, and almost changing it into this kind of more of a powerful kind of emotional energy that can move us forward instead of holding us back. So it is an emotional time, but it's also a really good time where I feel like a lot of healing can take place for a lot of people, and it's all going to be happening, especially through our relationships, with others, with people that we love, with people that we meet. It's that kind of thing. So I would say with this High Priestess energy, you might just be really intuitive at this time as well, and also you might have even been more in tune with your even psychic abilities as well. So it's a nice energy, but I feel like for some people that aren't really used to being in tune with their emotions, they will find that this energy really hard to deal with, because it's just gonna be like, I'm not used to this. Like, I don't experience these kind of things. And so maybe for the more kind of logical people out there, it's difficult. But I think for the more spiritually inclined people, I think it can be rough, but I think you'll be able to maneuver through it a bit better, cope a bit better than maybe some other people will. So that's the High Priestess. Now in the middle, was it this one? No, I picked up the wrong one. I'm sorry. This is the middle of the week. This is the Seven of Cups. Now, I said I picked up the wrong one because I actually did lay these out um in a certain way, but this one definitely is intended to be the middle of the week card. Now this one is interesting because what I said about the high priestess, I feel like these cards definitely are connected, in that this one is all about, again, it's cups, so it's all about sort of feelings and emotions too, but it's kind of like almost like this can almost feel to me like being almost deluded by certain things that we feel, almost like it can be that maybe our feelings and emotions are guiding us in a certain way, maybe our intuition is guiding us, but there's a sense of confusion that kind of is coming out of it, an illusion, something that isn't quite what it seems. And when you think about it, our emotions can be, they're really abstract, you know. Sometimes things that we, like I said, you can hold on to in the past, like you could hold on to a grudge that you have against somebody, and that situation might not even be anything that it might be something that is not even really what happened, if you get what I'm saying. Like sometimes we can fall out with somebody and we be mad at them, and it could be something that in our minds we heard or thought we heard, and then we just interpreted it in a certain way, even if it may not have been meant a certain way. So I think sometimes it can be about, even though things are coming to the surface for us, sometimes we have to also get our emotions in check as well, and not not totally get rid of our logical side too. It's all about bringing things into balance. And I feel like what this card is kind of representing is also that you can feel like you have all these different choices and you don't really know what to decide. And it's not really that these choices are all, it's like really, you know what you desire, you know what you're being led towards, but for some reason you're allowing yourself to be open to things that aren't really tangible, like things that aren't really real. It's almost like fooling yourself in a certain way. And so what it's saying now is, even though things are coming to the surface for you, and it may be a time where you might be assessing a lot of stuff that is going on, it's saying don't be deluded by things that you may have felt or may have held on to. This is a time where you have to have more clarity. You can see in this picture there's a lot of clouds. You need to be able to see things from a more like a clear perspective. Sometimes sometimes we just have to look at things for what they really are, and not for what we believe them to be or think that they may be, because that's when we can be fooled, almost tricked by our own minds into things that aren't really real. So, and then this is the last card. Now, this card is not easy, but at the same time, I think that this card gets a lot of stick because of the fact that, it's not the most pleasant of cards. But I think the thing about this card is that it can represent being very stressed, very anxious. It can represent kind of being at your wit's end and just feeling like you can't take anymore, you can't do anymore, you just had enough. But the good thing about this card is that it's a 10, which means that this is the end of the situation. This is the end of the stress and the end of the worry. If you choose to, you can stay stuck in this state. You can make it last as long as you want it to last for. But the only thing is, just like you can see the knives that is in this person's body, is that the longer you keep it up, the more agonizing it will be. So if you're in a situation where you are feeling like really burdened, really stressed and stuff, this is a time where, especially being that this is swords, this is all about the mind. It's all about how you mentally feel. And so if that's the case, you can always change your perspective on things. You can always change the way you choose to look at things. You do have that choice. So don't feel like, if there is something going on in your life, some kind of external factor that is making you feel this way, don't think that you have to feel this way. Don't feel like you have to be stuck in this rut. You can change the way you perceive things, and the way you perceive things ultimately will change the way you feel. It will change the way you even feel on a physical level, on an emotional level, and even on a spiritual level. So don't allow yourself to be stuck in this state. you know, try to see it from another perspective, see it in a different way that can serve you rather than hinder you. So that's the reading for this week. That's the cards that came up. It's an interesting reading. So I hope that you guys do have a good week and that all is well for you. So yes, like I said, please do comment and let me know if you can hear me better, and I will definitely get them monthly astrology videos up for you guys. All right, I'll see you. Bye.